Good morning, students. Myself, Dr. Vikram Veer Bhushan. Today, I am going to start the new topic, menstrual cycle. First of all, we will see the definition of the menstrual cycle. It is a cyclic event that takes place in rhythmic fashion during the reproductive period of woman's life every month. The menstrual cycle starts at the age of 12 to 15 years, which marks the onset of the puberty. The commencement of the menstruation is called as the menarche, and the stoppage of the menstruation, which occur at the age of 45 to 50 years, is known as the menopause. The duration of each menstrual cycle is usually the 28 days, but under physiological condition it may vary between 20 to 40 days. And in each menstrual cycle, 4 changes occur. First is the ovarian changes. These are the changes occurring ovaries. Uterine changes. These are the changes occur in uterus. Third is the vaginal changes. Changes occur in vagina. And fourth is the cervical changes. Changes occur in cervix. First of all, we will discuss the ovarian changes. Ovarian changes has 2 phases, follicular phase and luteal phase. Follicular phase starts from 6th day to 14 days, or it starts after the end of the menstrual bleeding and up to the onset of the ovulation. And second is the luteal phase, which starts after the ovulation and ends on the onset of the next cycle. First is the follicular phase. During this phase, the maturation of the ovum and the development of the ovarian follicle takes place. The ovarian follicles are the glandular structure which are present in the cortex of the ovaries. There are the different type of the ovarian follicles, which first of all is the primordial follicle. This primordial follicle is formed during the embryonic stage, and during the 7th to 8th month of the intrauterine life, the number of the primordial follicles is near about 4 to 6 million in each ovary. But at the time of the puberty, both the ovaries contain about 3 to 4 lakh primordial follicles. And each primordial follicle has an ovum which is surrounded incompletely by the granulosa cells. These granulosa cells provide the nutrition to the ovum during the childhood. Look at this diagram. This diagram shows the cortex of the ovary, and first of all, it is a primordial follicle where the ovum is incompletely surrounded by the granulosa cells. Then it goes to the next stage, that is the primary follicle, which is surrounded completely by the granulosa cells. Then it goes to the vesicular follicle stage. Then it becomes the mature ovarian follicle, that is the Graafier follicle. After the release of the ovum from the Graafier follicle, the corpus luteum is formed. We will discuss each step of these ovarian changes one by one. The granulosa cells of the primordial follicles secretes the oocyte maturation inhibiting factor This factor keeps the ovum in the immature stage. On the onset of the puberty, under the influence of the follicular stimulating hormone, the primordial follicle starts growing to various stages. The diameter of the primordial follicle is 15 to 20 micron, and the diameter of the primordial ova is 10 micron during the puberty. Second is the primary follicle. Primordial follicles become the primary follicle when the ovum is completely surrounded by the granulosa cells and its diameter becomes 30 to 40 micron and the diameter of the ovum becomes 20 micron, just double to the primordial follicle. The following changes take place during the primary follicular stage. First is the proliferation of the granulosa cells and increase in the size of the follicle, and also increase in the size of the ovum, and onset of the formation of the connective tissue capsule around the follicle. Then primary follicle develops and goes into the next stage, vesicular follicle. Vesicular follicle, under the influence of the follicular stimulating hormone, are formed. About 8 to 12 primary follicles start growing and develop into the vesicular follicle under the influence of FSH, and the following changes occur. Proliferation of the follicles continues. A cavity called the antrum of the follicular cavity is formed. Antrum is start filling with the serous fluid called the liquor follicle, and ovum is pushed to one side and it is surrounded by the granulosa cells, which forms a hill-like structure that is called as the germ hill, and it is also known as the cumulus oporus. Granulosa cells form the membrane granulosa. The cell of the germ cells become columnar and forms the supporting layer of the ova or oocyte, and these supporting layers are the zona pellucida and the corona radiata. The ovum increases in size and its diameter increases to about 100 to 150 micron. Nucleus becomes larger and the cytoplasm becomes granular, and thick membrane is formed which surrounds the ovum, and this thick membrane is called as the zona pellucida, and the space between the ovum and the zona pellucida is called as the perivitelline space. You also see it in the diagram. Granulosa cells from the ovarian cortex starts forming covering sheath around the follicle, which is known as the theca follicle, and theca follicle divides into the theca interna and the theca externa. Theca interna, it is the inner vascular layer having the loose connective tissue. It also contains some special type of the epithelial cells. These cells are secretory in nature, and these theca interna cells secretes the estrogen hormone into the follicular fluid. And second layer is the theca externa, which is the outermost layer, consists of the thick packed fibers and the spindle-shaped cells. After 7 days of the menstrual cycle, one of the vesicular follicle outgrow and it becomes prominent follicle and further develop to form the Graafian follicle. Next is the Graafian follicle. This follicle is named Graafian follicle after the scientist Regnier de Graaf, who studied on this mature follicle. Graafian follicles are the matured ovarian follicle with maturing ovum, and following changes occur during this stage. First is the size of the follicle increases up to 10 to 12 millimeter, and follicular cavity becomes larger and it is filled with the fluid. Ovum attains the maximum size and the layers zona pellucida and the corona radiata become prominent and thick. Attachment of the ovum to the follicular wall. At one point the follicle encroaches upon the tunica albuginea, which is the layer of the ovary, and protrudes upon the surface of the ovary. This protrusion part is called as the stigma, where the tunica albuginea is thinnest. Look at this diagram. The oocyte, which is surrounded by the zona pellucida and corona radiata. This is the germ hill, cumulus oophorus, and this is the cavity, yellow color cavity, which is filled with the serous fluid, basement membrane, and these are the spindle cells, granulosa cells, and outermost layer of the follicle are the theca interna and the theca externa. Theca interna become prominent and its thickness become double with rich capillary network, and on the 14th day of the menstrual cycle, Graafian follicle is ready for the process of ovulation under the influence of FSH. Next is the ovulation. Ovulation is defined as the process by which the Graafian follicle ruptures with consequent discharge of the ovum into the abdominal cavity. It is influenced by the hormone, luteinizing hormone, which works under the influence of the FSH, and it occurs on the 14th day of the cycle. When following changes occurs during the ovulation. First change is the rupture of the Graafian follicle takes place at the stigma, which is the thinnest part of the tunica albuginea. Second is follicular fluid oozes out. Third is the ovum is expelled out into the abdominal cavity along with some amount of the serous fluid and granulosa cells. From the abdominal cavity, the ovum enters the fallopian tube through its fimbriae. Body temperature increases slightly after the ovulation, which is due to the influence of the luteinizing hormone. After ovulation, the ovum is viable only for 24 to 72 hours, so it must be fertilized within that period. Fertilized ovum is called as a zygote, and it moves to fallopian tube and reaches the uterus on third day after the ovulation, and implanted in the uterus on 6th to 7th day of the fertilization. If fertilization not occur, ovum degenerate and expelled out during the next menstrual cycle. There is one thing that I want to discuss with you. In every stage, the ovarian follicle changes from changes into the maturation form. Some follicle goes into the next stage and some follicles become degenerated, and these degenerated follicles are called as the atretic follicle, and the process of this degeneration is known as the atresia. Now the next phase, luteal phase. Luteal phase generally occur after the ovulation, or it may consider as 15 to 28th day of the menstruation cycle. Corpus luteum is the glandular yellow body which is developed from the ruptured Graafian follicle after the release of the ovum. Development of the corpus luteum soon after the rupture of the Graafian follicle and the release of the ovum, the follicle is filled with the blood. Now the follicle which is filled with the blood is called as the corpus hemorrhagicum. The blood starts clotting slowly, and the corpus hemorrhagicum does not degenerate immediately but transform into the corpus luteum, which is the yellow colored body. Follicular cavity closes gradually. Blood clotting is gradually replaced by the serous fluid containing the fibrin. Corpus luteum obtain a diameter of 15 mm and remain in ovary till the end of the cycle. Granulosa cells and the theca interna cells of the corpus luteum are transferred into the lutein cells called the granulosa lutein cells and the theca lutein cells. Okay, in Graafian follicle these are the granulosa cells and the theca interna cells, and in corpus luteum the theca interna cells becomes the theca lutein cells and the granulosa cells becomes the granulosa lutein cells. The process which transports the granulosa and the theca cell into the lutein cell is called as the luteinization. The yellowish pigment granules of these cells gives the yellow color in corpus luteum. Now the function of the corpus luteum is, first is the secretion of the hormone. Corpus luteum acts as a temporary endocrine gland, and granulosa lutein cell secretes the progesterone and the theca lutein cell secretes the estrogen. Theca interna cell in Graafian follicle in the follicular stage secretes the estrogen that we have not discussed earlier. So the theca lutein cell secretes the estrogen, and LH influences the secretion of these two hormones. Second function of the corpus luteum is the maintenance of the pregnancy. If pregnancy occurs, the corpus luteum remains active for 3 months or until the placenta develops completely, and progesterone secreted by the corpus luteum maintains the pregnancy, and miscarriage occur if corpus luteum become inactive or removed before 3 months of the pregnancy. If ovum is not fertilized, the corpus luteum reaches the maximum size after 1 week of ovulation. During this period, it secretes a large quantity of the progesterone and small quantity of the estrogen. Then it degenerates into the corpus luteum menstrualis. Corpus luteum menstrualis is, that is when the fertilization does not occur, the corpus luteum becomes corpus luteum menstrualis, and cell decreases in size and corpus luteum becomes smaller and involuted. Involuted means a shrinking of the corpus luteum. The corpus luteum menstrualis is transformed into the whitish scar, that is the corpus albicans, and the process by which the corpus luteum undergoes degeneration is called as the luteolysis. And the second condition is, if ovum is fertilized and pregnancy does not occur, the corpus luteum persists and increases in size and attain a diameter of 20 to 30 mm, and it transforms into the corpus luteum verum. It is also known as the corpus luteum of pregnancy. Second changes of the menstrual cycle is the uterine change. Uterine changes have three phases. First phase is the menstrual phase, second phase is the proliferative phase, and third phase is the secretory phase. First of all, the menstrual phase. After ovulation, if pregnancy does not occur, the endometrium becomes thicker and thicker and it gets shed or degenerated. The process of the degeneration is called as the menstruation, and it lasts for about 1 to 5 days. The day when the bleeding starts is considered as the first day of the menstrual cycle. 2 days before the onset of the bleeding, that is the 26th or the 27th day of the previous cycle, there is a sudden decrease in the secretion of the estrogen and the progesterone. This sudden decrease in the secretion of these hormones is responsible for the next menstrual cycle. The changes in the endometrium during the menstrual phases are: first is the reduction of the thickness of the endometrium. Second is the endometrium vasoconstriction due to the involution of the endometrial tissue. Third is the action of the vasoconstriction substances like prostaglandin occur. Sudden lack of the estrogen and the progesterone. Due to the vasoconstriction, it causes the necrosis of the tissue, which causes the rupture of the blood vessel. Total loss during the menstrual cycle is 70 ml, which includes the 35 ml of blood and 35 ml of the tissue fluid. Immediately, clotting occurs when the blood goes to the uterine cavity, and in uterine cavity, blood comes in contact with the fibrolysis, which dissolves the clot. That's why the menstrual blood does not clot. Blood after coming in uterine cavity causes the contraction of the uterus, which causes the expulsion of the endometrium discharge, and at the end of this phase, thickness of the endometrium becomes 1 mm. The second phase is the proliferative phase. It starts from the 5th day to 14th day, or it starts after the bleeding and ends on the onset of the ovulation. Epithelial lining reappears and endometrial blood vessels increases. Blood supply. Increased blood supply increases the endometrial stroma and becomes thick. Estrogen is responsible for the thickness of the endometrium during this phase, because estrogen is secreted during the follicular phase of the ovarian changes, and follicular phase of the ovarian changes occur in same duration as the duration of the proliferative phase of the uterine changes, and at the end of this phase the endometrium becomes 4 mm. Third phase is the secretory phase. It starts after the ovulation and ends on the onset of the next menstrual cycle, or it is considered as 15th to 28th day. and under the influence of the estrogen in ovary, proliferation of the endometrium continues, but during this phase there is maximum secretion of the progesterone, and this phase, secretory phase of uterine phases, is coincide with the luteal phase of the ovarian changes. And due to the secretion of the progesterone, which causes the development of the uterine gland and makes them secretory in nature, and it also prepares the uterus for the implantation of the ovum. If no fertilization occurs, the estrogen and the progesterone decreases, and the end of this phase, the thickness of the endometrium becomes 6 millimeters. Now the third change is cervical changes. That is the changes in cervix, having two phases. First is the proliferative phase and second is the secretory phase. During the proliferative phase, the mucous membrane of the cervix becomes thin and alkaline in nature, and under the influence of the estrogen, it helps in the cervical and the motility of the, it helps in the cervical thickness and the motility of the sperm. Second is the secretory phase. The mucous layer of the cervix becomes thick and after the proliferative phase, and it becomes adhesive because of the action of the progesterone. And next is the vaginal changes. Vaginal changes also have two phases, proliferative phase and the secretory phase. Proliferative phase, due to the influence of the estrogen, anterior wall of the vagina is covered by the epithelial cell layer, and this layer forms the protective layer. And second is the secretory phase, and this phase occurs under the influence of the progesterone, and epithelial layer of the vagina becomes thick and secretory in nature, and it increases the resistance of the vagina against the infection. So these are the different type of the changes occur in menstrual cycle, in each menstrual cycle, and these four changes are the ovarian changes, uterine changes, cervical changes, and the vaginal changes. So I hope you understand the topic. Thank you very much.